Good morning, folks. So, who I get to lift today, and quite excited to do so, is Lucy Loretta McGhee. Her maiden name was Andrews, and she is remembered by Judith Schofield. And Judith says if she had to pick one word to describe her grandmother, it would be tenaciousness. What's lovely about this story is the amount of history in it that certainly I can identify with, and I'm certain many of you will as well. Lucy Loretta Andrews was born in Flinton, Ontario on February 27th in 1907. She was the daughter of Archibald and Ida Tabot Andrews. By the time Lucy was 4, her mother was in the hospital in Kingston. And what's really sad is by the time she was 8, her mother had died. So she had to go live with relatives. And by the time she was 15, she was living in El Dorado with newlyweds by the name of Alex and Grace, Grace being her sister, Alex and Grace Gordon. And then in July 1924, Lucy Loretta married the shoemaker Malcolm Joseph McGhee. What is sad about their story as they went on further is that at the age of 41, Mac McGhee died suddenly in September of 1947. And this left Lucy a widow at 40, and she had 4 children and a business to run. Judith shares that all the family had to work together. So Hilda was 22 and she had just graduated as a registered nurse. Milton McGhee was at 19 only when his father died, and he had just graduated from Radio College of Canada. And Joan, who had just turned 11, and Douglas, who was only 5. So this clearly was a very challenging time for Lucy. But going back a bit, the shoemaker's shop, M.J. McGhee Boot, Shoe and Harness Shop, was founded in 1922, and it was the beginning of the McGhee presence on the main street of Bancroft. And M.J. McGhee, known as Mac, would become the Burgess battery distributor at the time. And a lot of batteries were used, obviously, for radios at that time. And the shop then grew. Mac McGhee eventually built an apartment up above that his family moved into, and it became McGhee's Sport and Gift Shop that had licenses for fish and game, guns, fishing tackle, and it was also the first record store in town. And several, it says here, and it would be where several of her grandchildren would develop their skill in retail businesses. I know a fair amount of the McGhees. What I can say about them is they're very personable, very genuine, and just lovely people to be around. And they make you feel good. And certainly Allmake with Lori and Lori and Joe McGhee's Allmake business that is now closed. People raved about their service, and I was certainly one that did so. And they were a beautiful...
Leslie McGhee.
Leslie. Did I say Jennifer?
You said Lori.
Oh, Lori's her sister, and so is Jennifer. It's Leslie and Joe. Thanks, Paul. And but back to Lucy, she lived to be 88 years old, and she lived until February 1996, and she's buried at Hillcrest Cemetery in Bancroft. And the secret to her great strength was tenacity. So that was a lovely contribution by Judith, and Lucy's recipe is for tomato soup. And I like to make homemade tomato soup rather. And the one tip that I got is to use a little bit of baking soda so that your milk does not scald. Did not know that. So this is who we are honoring today, honoring the women of North Hastings. Blessed be.